Hi, my name's Leeds, and in this video I wanted to explain really how I bought my first buy-to-let property, and I did that just before my 18th birthday. So I was actually 17 when I bought my first house with no money, not from a wealthy background, reasonably working class, and no one gave me a penny. No one gave me a penny. So I'll share how I did that, and hopefully it will inspire some of you guys. The thing is, I'm not the only one. You know, there's many people that have been trained by me, and not me, there's many people in this country that have been buying properties with no money, starting at a ridiculously young age. But how it worked. So first, let me just say this. I didn't have a penny off anybody, so no one gave me a penny. I'm not from a wealthy background. So in that way, I didn't rely on anybody. You know, sometimes people say, just because I did really well, really young, sometimes people say, oh, you know, you were just helped out by your parents, or people must have given you money, or, you know, you're privileged or whatever. That's completely not the case. But at the same time, I relied completely, I depended on 3 people heavily for the deal to happen. So Arnold Schwarzenegger says that no one's self-made. So while no one gave me any money, and while I did it from scratch, I did rely on people. So the 3 people that I really relied on, one person was a family member who didn't give me any money, but a family member who let me put the property in their name because I was too young to buy a property. And I remember actually when I was 17 and I was starting out in property, I was just getting on all these training programs. I had a mentor. I remember thinking, I can't wait until I'm 18 and I can buy a house, you know, no money down. And then I got told by my mortgage broker, or ex-broker, no, you have to be 21 to get a buy-to-let mortgage. And you have to have a residential mortgage first. And you need this and this and this. And I'm like, oh my goodness, all this training that I've done, and I can't even buy a house until I'm 21. And then my mentor said to me, yes, but you could get a mortgage host, and you could put the property in someone else's name, like a family member's name. And I'm like thinking, oh my goodness. Well, if I can do it that way, I don't even have to wait until I'm 18. I can literally do it straight away. So first person who I'm going to give a shout out to is the family member, and there was more than one, who said to me, yes, Samuel, I'm happy for you to put a house in my name, as long as it doesn't cost me anything. So no one gave me any money, but as long as it doesn't cost me anything, I can do that. And I tell you something, I bet you any money, if you're knowledgeable, trustworthy, and have good family, I bet there's someone in your family that would put a house in their name on your behalf. Because worst case, well, how can you screw them over? How can you screw them? Like, you screw them and they'll just say, okay, well, I'll keep the house then. You know, so there's no risk. So that's the first thing that happened. Second person I relied heavily on was my mentor. And I had several mentors, I still do have mentors, who basically told me exactly what to do. And I'm gonna tell you how I did it, how I financed it, and how I structured the deal in a second. But second thing is, my mentor who told me exactly how to do it. Now, sometimes when a mentor tells you how to do something or what to do, you don't necessarily even know how it works, you just know that it does. So for instance, in my offices right now, if I go in and I press a light switch, I know that the whole office building could light up with one light switch. I know that. I don't know how it works, but I know that if I press the button, I know it happens. So my mentor, several mentors that told me what to do, and I just followed the instruction. Shout out to those guys. Third person I depended on was my mortgage broker, my lenders. So let me tell you how I did the deal. Really simple. Some of you might think, it sounds too good to be true, or, well, I did it. So it isn't too good to be true because I did it. And not only did I do it, but many of my students and many people have. So there was a property on the market. It was valued at £100,000. I agreed to buy the property at a negotiated price of £80,000. So £20,000 below the asking price, below the market value. I bought it for £80,000, and I bought it in cash because my mortgage company gave me a bridging loan, all done in my family member's name. So I bought it for cash for 80 grand. I then, the same day I bought it, age 17, refinanced it back up to its true value of 100, pulled the 80 grand out, paid the lender back on. I now have a house for free using none of my own money, just relying on those 3 people. Now, of course, I have a mortgage to pay right now. Some people would say, Samuel, you didn't buy a house at 17. You didn't own the house, the banks owned it. Yes, the banks owned it, true. You know, so I did it. It's technically my house in a family member's name, being funded by the bank. But who benefits from the rent? Who benefits from the capital appreciation? Me. So the mortgage payments were, I think, £166 a month. I rented out as a HMO, room by room, for £1,400 a month. So that first property before my 18th birthday was giving me £1,400 a month rent. Not a bad deal. not a bad deal. That's how I financed it. That's how I rented it out. So I think the moral of the story is, don't ever say that's too good to be true, because there's a lot of good things going on right now. And very wealthy people and very successful people, you won't hear them saying it's too good to be true. And then secondly, don't be afraid to depend on people. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I ask people for help. I press the light switch, the lights come on. I don't understand it all. I don't try and understand the X, Y, Z before I step out and do the ABC. So take action, educate yourself. Don't be afraid to ask for help. That's how I financed my first deal. If you've got any questions about that or you don't understand it, feel free to comment below. The markets have changed now. So now, that was back in that was 10 years ago. Can you believe it? I'm 27 now, almost 28. I've been investing now for over 10 years or more. So the market's changed. So now the way I structure deals is very different, but that was the first one. You can still do very similar things. You can still buy, add value and refinance. There's a whole world out there. There's a whole world out there, which is just crazy scary, crazy good. And the things that you can do are just insane. But if you say it's too good to be true, why is it too good to be true? Because you've not done it before? So what, you're just not gonna ever do new things? I'm uncomfortable. Just get out your comfort zone, grow, do new things. So that's the story. Look forward to hearing your comments below. God bless, see you next time.